The rain hammered against the windshield as Marcus Williams sat in his car, engine off, staring at the foreclosure notice taped to his front door. 3 months behind on mortgage payments. His daughter Emma's medical bills had drained every penny of his savings, every favor he could call in, every dream he'd ever harbored for their future. The insurance company had denied her experimental treatment, calling it investigational with cold, corporate indifference. At 8 years old, Emma deserved better than a father who couldn't even keep a roof over her head. He closed his eyes, feeling the weight of failure crushing down on his chest like a physical thing. Tomorrow, they'd have to pack their lives into garbage bags and move into his sister's cramped apartment across town. Emma would have to change schools again, leave behind the few friends she'd managed to make despite her frequent hospital stays. The thought of explaining another upheaval to her bright, trusting eyes made his stomach twist into knots. "Daddy, you're crying," came a small voice from the back seat. Marcus quickly wiped his face and turned around to find Emma watching him with those impossibly wise eyes that seemed too old for her small face. Her bald head, a reminder of the chemotherapy sessions, was covered by the pink knit cap she never took off anymore. "Just tired, sweetheart. Ready to go inside?" "Wait." Emma pressed her face against the window, her breath fogging the glass. "Daddy, who put that camera there?" Marcus followed her gaze to the small security camera mounted on their neighbor Mrs. Chen's house, its lens pointing toward their driveway. He'd never noticed it before, though it could have been there for months. Mrs. Chen was a quiet widow who kept to herself, tending her garden and rarely speaking to anyone on the street. "Probably Mrs. Chen, to keep her house safe," he said absently, his mind already returning to the impossible math of their situation. Even if he worked double shifts at the warehouse, they couldn't catch up on the payments. "It's pointed at our house, not hers," Emma observed with the matter-of-fact clarity that only children possess. She was right. The camera was angled directly toward their front yard, capturing anyone who approached their door. Strange, but Marcus had bigger problems than a neighbor's security system. He helped Emma out of the car, and they trudged through the rain to face whatever waited inside. The next morning brought a knock at the door that Marcus dreaded, surely the sheriff's deputy coming to oversee their eviction. Instead, he found Mrs. Chen standing on his doorstep, holding a manila envelope and wearing an expression he couldn't read. "Mr. Williams," she said in her soft, accented English. "May I come in?" Puzzled, Marcus stepped aside. Mrs. Chen had lived next door for 5 years, but their conversations had never extended beyond polite nods and comments about the weather. She sat primly on his worn couch, the envelope clutched in her weathered hands. "I know about Emma's illness," she began without preamble. "I know about the medical bills, the insurance problems, the foreclosure." Marcus felt his face flush with embarrassment. "Mrs. Chen, I appreciate any concern, but we'll manage somehow." "Please," she interrupted gently, "let me speak." She opened the envelope and pulled out a stack of photographs. Marcus's breath caught as he recognized the images of their daily life over the past several months. Emma playing in the front yard despite her weakness, building snowmen in winter, tending the small vegetable garden she'd insisted on planting. Marcus loading and unloading his car after double shifts, his shoulders sagging with exhaustion. "The camera," Marcus said, understanding dawning. "Yes, I installed it 6 months ago. Not for security, for love." Mrs. Chen's eyes filled with tears. "I lost my own granddaughter to cancer 3 years ago. She was 9. When I saw Emma playing outside, so brave, so full of life despite her sickness." She paused, composing herself. "I wanted to capture her joy, to remember that children can find happiness even in darkness." Marcus stared at the photos, seeing his daughter through Mrs. Chen's eyes, not as a sick child, but as a beacon of resilience and wonder. But there's more, Mrs. Chen continued. She pulled out another document to a cashier's check made out to Marcus Williams. The amount made his hands tremble. $127,000. Enough to pay off the mortgage, cover Emma's treatments, and provide a cushion for whatever came next. I don't understand, Marcus whispered. My husband and I never had children of our own, but we built a successful restaurant business over 40 years. When he died, I sold it. I've been living on the proceeds, but I don't need all of it. What good is money if it doesn't create joy? She gestured toward the photos. Watching Emma has reminded me why we worked so hard to build something meaningful, to help the next generation thrive. Mrs. Chen, I can't accept this. It's too Mika. You can, and you will, she said firmly. But there's a condition. Marcus waited, hardly daring to breathe. I want to be Emma's grandmother. Not officially, not legally, but truly. I want to teach her to make dumplings, to tend a proper garden, to speak Mandarin if she's interested. I want to attend her school plays and birthday parties. I want to love her the way my granddaughter should have been loved longer. Tears streamed down Marcus's face as the weight of months of desperation finally lifted from his shoulders. Emma, he called. His daughter appeared in the doorway, still wearing her pink cap, curiosity bright in her eyes. Emma, remember the camera you asked about? She nodded, studying Mrs. Chen with interest. Mrs. Chen has been taking pictures of you because you make her happy. And she wants to be part of our family. Emma considered this with the seriousness she brought to all important matters. Then she walked over to Mrs. Chen and climbed onto the couch beside her. Can you teach me to make those dumplings you're always cooking? They smell really good. Mrs. Chen laughed through her tears, wrapping Emma in a gentle hug. Oh, my dear child, I'll teach you everything I know. 6 months later, Marcus stood in his backyard of their backyard, permanently theirs now, watching Emma and Mrs. Chen harvest vegetables from the expanded garden they'd planted together. Emma's hair was growing back in soft brown curls, and her laughter rang out as Mrs. Chen showed her how to properly pick cherry tomatoes. The camera was still recording moments of joy. But now Marcus understood its true purpose. It wasn't about surveillance or security. It was about seeing the beauty that exists in ordinary moments, the connections that can form between strangers, the way love multiplies when shared. Emma ran over, arms full of tomatoes, her face glowing with health and happiness. Daddy, Nei says I can help her make dinner for the whole street this weekend. Nei meant grandmother in Mandarin, a title Mrs. Chen had earned through devotion rather than blood. As Marcus watched his daughter and their chosen family member planning their next adventure, he realized that sometimes the most profound changes in life begin with the simplest questions from the people we love most. Emma's innocent curiosity about a camera had revealed not just a neighbor's secret acts of kindness, but the truth that families aren't always born, sometimes they're discovered, one gentle observation at a time.